Happy Halloween, everybody!
We're
And what?
a little late.
What's
Little
the
late.
date?
I think it's the 2nd.
Oh, Happy Thanksgiving,
Close
everybody! And welcome to the Our Sinclair Halloween special. We're a little bit late, but we're here, and when it's Halloween time, what better way to say I'm scared of you than with invasion of the zombie monsters?
Now,
Do you have to add monsters after that?
well, you do.
Okay.
You do. I don't know how much you looked into the game, but it makes sense, sorta.
I did play it, so I looked into it pretty thoroughly, the Brent.
Something they left off of.
There's a longer title?
Well, there's a more fitting.
All right,
title.
go ahead.
Is aliens. They didn't mention aliens in the title. Invasion of the Zombie Alien Monsters would have been a more fitting title.
I think I saw that on a Mystery Science Theater 25 years ago. So, nevertheless, of course, we missed a week, and so although this show was pretty much boned, I think this show was going past Halloween, irregardless of missing a week. But by God, we're dedicated to a gimmick, and we're going to see it through and play Invasion of the Zombie Monsters this week. Now,
I'm glad, Aaron, that you decided to go ahead and dress up like a gorilla.
Please. That demeans myself and gorilla.
It does. I'm sorry, gorillas.
So, my first question to you is, here we are now. This is a rare opportunity because it's now several days after Halloween as we record this. We're not gonna try to fool you now that he showed me. How was your Halloween experience? And how was I know you routinely you'll go out and trick or treat in the guise of a small child. How did that work out for you this year?
See, sometimes kids will dress up in trench coats on each other's shoulder. I do it the other way.
Oh, yeah?
I dress up as 3 coats, but horizontal instead of vertical.
I see. Wow, I see. That'd be a difficult costume to knit. We had up at the Dowdy estate, we had 21 big deal costumed kids and adults who came by. We were giving out full bars this year, and so I gave out 21 bars. The good thing is I bought 46 bars. And so we've been supping on the leftover bars. In fact, we had Boat here earlier. Boat had a bar. Me and the boys had some bars. So that's been nice. It's a good thing about Halloween is to get the extra candy.
Well, it's Terry, for whatever reason, God bless her incredibly generous heart, she bought like 7 bags of candy.
Oh, yeah?
Bags, right? Because Jennifer hands out candy at 161.
Yeah.
We have like 3 bags that never even got opened and a tub that all the other candy was dumped in.
Yeah.
That is the size of a small like manhole cover.
Yeah.
Full candy.
So right now there's a tub of candy sitting around?
Literally, we have got candy, not for days. We've got if Halloween comes around fast enough, I mean, I know it's a year away, we still are going to have candy to give out.
You never know, this year, it might get along a little bit quicker. Now, something occurs to me that you spend a lot of time at this house, and you'll be there with this barrel of candy.
I have dipped my toes into the candy.
Well, that ruined that. Boy, there's a mental image I could have done without.
Sometimes you have to claim the candy, Aaron. You can't just...
I guess that's
you can't just hope it's going to be there.
I think what you meant to say was befoul the candy. Or defile would also work. So, yeah, that's hideous.
You know what else, Aaron? Defiles the ZX Spectrum.
What? That doesn't sound too good, but what?
Invasion of the zombie monsters. Let's get into it.
Okay, fair enough.
This, Aaron, you might be able to pronounce this. I'm probably going to struggle.
Good.
A game designed by Revivo, R-E-L-E-V-O.
Revillo.
Sure. Video games, they are the Spanish creators of this game we're taking a look at.
Oh, really? Okay.
It is a modern title. Came out in 2010.
Wait a minute. So it's 15 years old.
Well...
Modernish.
Modern for the ZX Spectrum.
It's more modern than the non-modern.
Well, no, it's modern for the ZX Spectrum.
All right, fair enough.
End of story. This has a little bit of an odd history because They released in 2010 for $20.
All right.
I'm sorry, for 14 pounds. And then immediately in the same year, someone else picked up the reins and re-released the game again. And they released it for 9 pounds.
Re-released in the same year, calendar year it was released the first time?
Yes. And the re-release company, which I'm not going to get into them a whole bunch because they've actually released tons and tons of modern stuff for several different systems.
Yeah.
But when you go looking back in the history for the Spanish developers, they gone. They had produced 4 games that I could find for the Spectrum, and as of 2011, maybe they changed their name, maybe they just dissolved, but they are no longer on the scene.
They do anything we heard of or played?
They have not. No.
All right. I will say I can see how developing and producing and selling Spectrum games in 2010 might not be particularly lucrative. I mean, to be honest with you.
But I was kind of sad to see that they had left the scene because this actually seems like a strong showing for the ZX Spectrum.
Now, did they release? Are they the ones that did the game on the other machines, or they just did the Spectrum version?
Yeah, no, they also released on the Amstrad and for the Mega Drive.
So, really? I knew this on the MSX. This was on the.
I'm sorry, the MSX. You are correct.
Did you look at either of the other two?
I did not.
The Amstrad, pretty sweet, I'd say. They did a good job on that one.
Well, I thought it was good for the system we played.
Well, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying it's because the Amstrad gets zero love.
That's true. That's true. And all the games for the different systems released at the same time.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah.
I will have to say the packaging for this, because they did sell a physical copy of this.
Really? Was it cassette or?
It was. It was cassette. It looked very nice. They did the whole proper insert with the fold out and the instructions.
Yeah.
And had a color front. All the tapes, at least for the ZX Spectrum that I saw, were black tapes with white text.
Cool.
Giving it more that spooky feel.
Yeah.
So it looks like they really, put their heart and soul into this.
All right.
And I think it shows during the gameplay. Let's go into it, Aaron. Invasion of the Zombie Monsters. What would you compare this game to if I put you on the spot? Go.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Yes. Absolutely. This feels like a Ghosts and Goblins game, both in its difficulty and in its scenery and sort of in its play style.
And its theme. The opening.
Well,
a monster steals the guy's girlfriend?
Well,
isn't that what happens in the...
Let's get into what actually happens.
Right.
No, it is not monsters. It's aliens will come and snatch up your girlfriend. During that, they shoot a big lightning bolt and blow up a city, snatch your girlfriend for some reason because their ultimate goal is to take over the world.
Aren't you and her both dorks in that part of it? Like, your guy's a huge geek.
Well, they're both.
Right, but your guy's the big dork.
Well, they're both pretty geeked out.
Yeah.
And so you have to fight through multiple stages, complete with interim map screens to show where you progressed, all Ghosts and Goblins. And you can throw fire produced in your hand and throw it at the enemies. The jump in this is a single jump. There's no kind of double jump or triple jump.
Yeah.
But you have some control over how far you go. You can, of course, hold the button to jump farther. And when you're in air, you have some pullback control if you decide you don't want to make the jump for whatever reason.
I should ask before you get too deep in the woods. Did you play this on keyboard or joystick?
Keyboard.
I tried both, so I can give you the report on both if you're interested.
I can't imagine there's a difference.
Yeah, there is. One of them used a joystick.
What?
No, the keyboard, you could actually, if you want to, you could have like a button for jump. Is what I'm saying, because when I used the joystick, I used up for jump. So I was wondering, how did you produce? Did you use the up arrow for jump, or did you use a separate button? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
This does support all the usual control methods.
And this has a down for crouch.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely essential to get
it is.
anywhere in this game.
I agree.
if absolutely nothing else, I do like how they incorporated the crouch into this game, because it becomes very useful and you have to get used to it. And that's something in platformers which often gets ignored. Which comes to gameplay. This is definitely a platformer. You have your little guy. He can run, jump, throw his fireballs, kill the enemies that come across, side-scrolling left to right. There is some verticality. You aren't locked into a solid left and right, but for the most part, it is left and right, jump the pits sort of gameplay.
Yes.
All the enemies in this for the first couple stages are your ghouly ghosts and your zombies and your skeletons and your plant creatures. Very much like ghouls and ghosts, or goblins, ghosts and goblins, and are incredibly difficult due to their positioning. The guy, you can tell, or team, went out of their way to have you jump towards danger when you're jumping from a platform to another platform. They go out of their way to put a guy right off screen that will throw a fireball and hit you or be there when you land. It is malicious, but it is absolutely something that can be learned. It's not something that they do it every time. There's only certain parts of the game, and you can memorize where those parts are fairly quickly. I don't, to be completely honest, I very rarely died to that. But it was something I had to tuck away in my old mind pocket for later playthroughs. There is no armor, unlike Ghosts and Goblins. This is a one-hit and you're dead affair from beginning to end. There aren't weapons, per se, but instead you can pick up power-ups. And the power-ups are almost like a shooter-style power-up. You kill an enemy, and it will drop a power-up on the ground that will cycle between...
This is a big problem right here.
Well, maybe I should explain the problem before you jump on in with 2 feet.
I'm just saying.
It can scroll between power-up, power-down, extra time, complete power-down, and...
explode everything on the screen.
And screen clear.
Yeah.
You're right, though. The power-up section of this is by far the worst aspect of it. And not saying that the power-ups you get are the worst aspect of it. It's how you collect these power-ups. It is a lot of standing around waiting for your symbol to come up for you to collect. Because the weapon that you have, that you start out with, that you have for the entire game, that you just keep upgrading, does get quite powerful off of like 6 upgrades,
something like that.
And it becomes
I don't think it's that many.
Yeah,
I think it's like 4.
Because you go from normal to larger to streak to upshot to
explosion.
And then there's an upshot and a downshot, and the wave shot. So there's 6 in total.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, well done, Eric. Thank you for contributing.
Listen, that's all I got.
And if you die, you obviously your power-ups reset back to nothing. The difficulty is very much hold on to your power-ups to get to the bosses. Not that the bosses are necessarily difficult, but if you are stuck on Pea Shooter and get to a boss, you're going to be shooting them for literally 2 or 3 minutes, and it kind of sucks. Aaron, when you first turn this game on, from hitting the go button to when you actually got to control your character, what did you think about it?
Well, I like the the opening. The load screen's nice. The cutscenes are nice and fun.
The storyboard.
That's
yeah.
right. And then I had an inkling as where I was going with this one, and so it starts up, and I'm moving along. And I will say it took me 3 play sessions to warm up to this one. And I did eventually warm to
Play
it.
sessions?
Play sessions. I have 3 separate play sessions.
Okay.
I had time to play. And so I played this quite a bit. So, should I just get into it on my side of the story here? Brent, you summed it up nice, but there's some stuff that I think needs to mention. First of all, this has music and sound effects on the spectrum. Why can't I get this on every Amiga game? I've been telling myself this for years. So why can they do it here? It's got a nice little opening tune. This thing scrolls quite nicely on a Spectrum. No flip screen, none of that crap.
It does okay.
It scrolls on a Spectrum. The color clash is practically 0 on the Spectrum.
Although it's a solid black background for the most part.
It would have been nice if they had some stars, but I mean, still, it suits the game. No color clash, I'm on board.
I agree.
It was fine, and so there's that. The power ups are the power up getting sucks, but the power up themselves cool. When you get to the point where you're shooting like a grenade almost everywhere you go, just stuff blowing up everywhere. That's cool. You feel powerful, and it's necessary in a lot of instances. This game has some gameplay elements that are annoying. For example, you can get shot from something off screen.
Yeah,
it can happen. It happens almost all the time. Frankly,
no, it does not.
Yeah, I mean, when shots are fired, they almost always. Well, you'll get one in off screen that'll come along, and it gets a lot worse at the higher levels when there's more stuff shooting. The power up situation, like Brent said, it's annoying. It literally grinds the game to a halt, and most of the time you're just standing there waiting to collect the green power up. The explosion that kills everything on the screen power up is pointless because it's one of the last ones that rotates in. By that time, everything on the screen is dead or gone. So it's pretty much worthless. There are checkpoints throughout the levels, but if you die before you get to the checkpoint, you go all the way back, and it can be a brutal path backwards. If you die on the level and hit continue, you've got to redo the entire level.
Yep.
Also brutal. So that could be a pain. I got to the first end boss, and I was having trouble beating him, and I didn't know what to do. And so I must have fought this guy a dozen times. And finally, I rage quit. I was like, I can't take it anymore. And I had to get help from Jocko. Thank you, Jocko, from helping me out. This game has a timer in it that counts down. I got killed by the timer more than a couple times. It's usually not too bad if you're zipping through the level, but it depends on it. Sometimes it's not worth your while to wait on these power-ups. Once you get the ultra power, just ignore them. There's no reason to even touch the power-up. And they cycle so quickly, you might accidentally touch the one that screws you. And that sucks when it happens. When you die, you lose everything. That's brutal. And if you die fighting the end boss, you're boned. Like Brent said, it takes forever. I fought 2 of the end bosses. Once I learned the trick for the first guy, I wouldn't call him that difficult, and I wouldn't call the second one that difficult. I beat him on my first try. But if you don't have any power-ups, it's a never-ending slog trying to get through it. I tapped out on the 3rd level, which is a level which I will say interestingly takes place in a city. So there is a background stuff on this one.
Some, yeah.
But it's brutally tough because the flying enemies in that level also start shooting.
Yeah.
Which makes they're already tough enough to dodge when they're not shooting. You collect gold pieces in this. I never got to a point where I could do anything with the gold.
100 gold gives you an extra life.
So there's no like store or anything. No. Okay, well there you go. I didn't know. I never saw anything to do with it. I like a lot of this game. I think it's fun. I think they did a good job with the this sort of gameplay. I really admire the scrolling and the I'd say it controls pretty well. This thing is, it's a little herky-jerky, right? But, it's not like the smooth as silk, but it's still good. It's better than what you'd expect on the Spectrum. This would have been a whiz-bang back in the day. People would have went crazy for it. But those few elements that make it less fun make it a lot less fun. It's also just, it is difficult, too. It's a difficult game.
Yeah, well, it's obviously designed to be difficult.
Yeah.
I did not struggle on the first boss at all. I think he might have killed me the first time I got to him, and then the second time, I breathed right through.
Can I explain why I struggled on him, but real quick?
Sure.
The first boss is this big, tall old man, and he shoots flying things at you, but if every once in a while he'll run across the screen and try to give you some kind of tingly fingers, he just gives you this business.
Yeah, just run into you.
And so I didn't realize that I could duck there. I thought I had to jump over him, and you can jump over him, but it's incredibly tough. And then he backs over you, and so that's what I was stuck in, that mindset of trying to jump over him. once you understand that he gives you just enough room to duck, he's not that difficult. That's why I got killed so many times.
Correct. Overall, a few things you said, and I just want to touch up on.
All right.
The scrolling on this is good. It is not great, but it's good.
But on the spectrum, I'd say it was good. We haven't seen a ton of games.
That's what I just said. It was good.
No, you said, but I mean, you have to quantify that.
Okay, it's not great, but it's good.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the problem? You start to lose frames. You start to get a low frame rate, which really, for a game like this, is really painful. It does a pretty decent job about not overwhelming you with enemies, but instead placing or having enemies in difficult positions, which is good. That's good game design.
Yeah.
It also, the boards, the pits, the jumps that you have to make, none of them are unfair, but tons of them are almost gotcha level. I never had to make a leap of faith, but it gets you real close. Like, where's the next platform? Where's the next platform? You're edging your way up. And as soon as you think you can't go any farther, it shows you where the next one's going to be.
Yeah, and sometimes, and often Brent mentions where they'll put guys deliberately in your path that can be timed. So sometimes you have to jump off the ledge you're on and then turn around in midair and come back to trigger what's going to happen, so you have a chance to get past what's going to happen.
Or jump early, land on the platform, and shoot.
It's a lot of the old tricks.
For me, that shows that the designers of this game were in tune with what they were building, because it wasn't happenstance that it was designed this way. It's obvious that they were making choices. And I'm okay with that. If the game is fair, which the game, for the most part, is fair, and you learn and you progress and you keep getting better and you think, okay, I know this happens there, so I have to be careful. I've got no problem with that type of game. But the huge letdown on this is the way that the power-ups are collected. It seems unnecessary due to the overall difficulty of the game that there has to be an aha moment when you're collecting power-ups, because one of the 5 rotations of the power-up is what you're going for. And it's the first one. It's always the first one. So you think, well, just shoot what drops the power-up and run right into it. That's almost never the case. It's almost always that you will kill something that is up on a platform or far enough ahead of you that it will change what the power-up is by the time you get to it.
Yeah.
Which leads you getting to the power-up and then just setting.
Yeah, you learn. You hardly ever just run through them. Yeah.
Enemies do not progress in the game unless you are progressing. What I mean by that is there will not be new enemies added to the screen unless you move forward and make new enemies appear. Which is fine. That's fine. Great for game design. But with the power-up system they have in place, it does have you just setting. And that so much kills the game for me. This is not something I would go back and play more of. I've got my fill. Is it a good game? Absolutely. Is it something I think you should try, get out there and give a shot?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think for a Spectrum game, it has enough things going for it that I would at least check it out. But the way the power-up system in this game works, I find it so frustrating that it makes me not want to play it, and that's never a good sign.
I think the game is a good game. I don't think the power-up system is a deal breaker. And I mean, listen, there's somebody somewhere who thinks that's an excellent gameplay mechanic. That's okay. So I think this is definitely one. It's a lot. To me, this is easier to play. As hard as this is, it's easier to play than the Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghosts and Goblins. Any of that family. Those things are double death. I actually had. The more I played this, the better I got at this. And I could get to the 3rd level without cheating, which was great. Yeah. Well, I couldn't cheat, so I guess that was that. I could get there without dying. So I would not, without losing all my men. And so that's something. If you're careful, you can scoot through this. This is not Sonic. You're not going to run through these levels. This is sort of a edge forward and shoot. And edge forward and shoot. Always be shooting,
Yeah.
But I like this one. It's colorful. I mean, again, it looks like an arcade game. They did a good job, like making it look like an arcade game.
Yes.
It's got all the elements of a proper arcade game. The controls I mean, once you get used to the way that how the game moves, the controls are fine.
Absolutely.
And once you understand what the rules are for jump, that's fine. So yeah, I liked it. I think it's a good game. I think it'd be a lot of fun to play.
Two more comments I want to throw in here before you get to the reviews.
All right.
Shooting, you can have 3 shots on the screen at the same time, and it feels bad when you're waiting for your next shot to come back. That's not a deal breaker. It's just the way you play the game. So I don't have necessarily a problem with that. And total game length is 5 stages. If you were just to bust through it, not die, go through it, no problem. You've got about a half an hour worth of gameplay, which I think is fine.
Yeah. I also want to shake your hand if you could do that.
The bosses in this are almost, at least all the ones I made it to, and even the ones I saw when I was watching the playthroughs.
Yeah.
They are based on patterns, and you might die a few times picking up the pattern, but once you get the pattern, it's just about executing the gameplay, which I'm okay with.
This is sort of like the ZX equivalent of an old NES game.
Sort of, yeah.
And this even has we mentioned the opening, but there is, and I think you vaguely mentioned, the transition scenes between levels where it shows your progression. They're nice.
Yeah,
they've got names. You can see the whole map,
And it gives you a little bit of story each time, too.
I mean, it's not the most original thing, but you can tell it was an homage. And
yes.
when it's an homage, you're good to go.
Yeah.
We got a couple reviews on this if you're interested, the Brent.
Absolutely.
The first one here from Jed Byrne. He writes in, "This game makes a great first impression. The introduction story has great graphics and good music. The game looks amazing with detailed, colorful graphics and an atmospheric soundtrack. It reminds me of Ghosts and Goblins, one of my favorite games. The graphics move quickly, and the jerky movement and scrolling can be accepted as the price for so much color without any clashes." I agree. Playing this as a Ghosts and Goblins clone does not work. The action here is not fast and frantic. It's slow and deliberate. You have to inch forward carefully, taking out your enemies without taking any risks. Slopes are a tactical challenge because you can only shoot enemies who are on the exact same level. That's with the original weapon.
Right.
Instead, you jump and shoot from a distance or wait somewhere safe. Power-ups can also require a great deal of patience. The icon changes quickly, and the majority of the available options are harmful. So you can't just run up and pick up your prize. Instead, you have to wait patiently for the cycle to complete. The slow pace means that the game is not addictive as it should be. Carefully progressing through the level quickly feels like a chore, and I lose interest after a couple goes. The game does make a great first impression, but it doesn't last. I've reached the second level, but I don't feel compelled to go any further. I'd rather load up Ghosts and Goblins. That was Jed Byrne.
I think that's very fair.
Yeah,
I think that's very fair.
I can understand what he's saying. Our other review on this one, and last review comes from Jocko, our good buddy Jocko, who chimes in. A really well-presented game with good graphics and audio. Gameplay is a little lumpy in places and hard at times. I found with jumping and shooting, you could easily miss enemies, especially the flying ones who seem to have a supernatural ability to fly between shots. And I lost count of the number of times I jumped straight into one of those suckers. There's a lot of slowly edging along, trying to anticipate where the game designer wants you to punish you. There's no skill in games that require jumping between platforms that spawn an enemy in your face with little chance to react. The pickup system could be improved. It costs time waiting for each item to cycle in a game where time matters. 2 of the 5 pickups are punishments. You're going to die, weapons will reset, and just serve to artificially slow down the game. The nuke system only works with many enemies to kill. Having to wait for it with around 2 enemies on the screen at any given time kind of renders it pointless. Like many games, having a good weapon for boss fights is going to decide if you get through or not, and I have run out of time with a boss fight, so it can be infuriating at times. I did that too when I had a crap weapon. For the best experience, play the CPC version, but the Speccy version is also good as is the MSX. As Jed Byrne said, don't play it as Ghosts and Goblins and you will have fun 8 out of 10.
I think all those are. I think all that was fair.
Where do you put this in your Brent pantheon?
6.
You give this a 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I think it's slightly above average, and I think the developers behind this knew what they were doing and made the game they wanted to make, and I've got no problem with that.
Okay.
Outside of the pickup system.
Very good, very good. So I think we can put that one to bed. By the way, do you know if this game is still available, perchance? Can you still buy this one?
I could not find a place to buy this. Even the website that did the re-release has taken it off of their website. So I could not find a way to buy this outside of
this may be available. I mean, I didn't have any trouble getting it. I think I just went to
I think it's free at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to try it out, the entry price is solid.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our next game, Brent. We'll be coming back right before Christmas. We should be back here towards the end of the month.
Yeah, a lot before Christmas.
And the next game we're going to be playing on Our Sinclair will be the unofficial Zombos Christmas Capers. The unofficial Zombos. What do you think about mixing zombies with Christmas? Are you down with that?
Man, at this point, mix everything with everything. See how it works.
So our next show will be December 7th on Our Sinclair. So we'll be doing the unofficial Zombos Christmas game. That should be interesting. The rotation spins, and next time out, we will be taking on the Coco Show. That should be a lot of fun. That will be airing sometime after you see this. And then the week after that, we'll be back with ARG Presents. We're sort of making up for lost time because we had a missing week there.
Yes.
So the next time you'll see us live here on ARG, we'll be on ARG Presents, and that will be October. It will be October 11th. That will be when you see us again. Or excuse me, November 11th. I'm a month behind. In our best interest, maybe just stop giving the time.
That would probably be.
We'll be coming back at some point. That's for darn sure. I think that's all we got. You got anything else to talk about on the old Sinclair?
Nope.
All right. We will see you next time around. And remember to rewind tape
and invade the earth.
No.